Hello and welcome to this Speedpaint type video. This is going to be a new series I'm trying to do where I'll go through and explain how I create characters and kind of the process for how they were made. And this first episode I want to tackle Gold, our favorite murderer, psychotic, possessed boy. And the character you're seeing here is actually the very first drawing I ever did of Gold's character back in, oh god, what was it? Middle school? So around 2015, I guess. And as you can probably tell by the original drawing, it was basically a Pinkie Pie clone. I had no idea how to design characters, and I just wanted a character that fit me. And I kind of based him off of another character that I had, that my friend and I made, who was a unicorn, and I decided that I wanted my main Sona character, whatever, to be a unicorn, because at the time, I was heavily into My Little Pony, and I wanted to have a character based off of it. So he was originally a My Little Pony OC, which even now sounds horribly and cringy in my head. And so the whole thing was magic, art, kind of falls hand in hand. So he was literally supposed to be just me, and in a way, he still kind of is, but I'll get to that a little later. Definitely sampling colors for this, and this is where you'll definitely see it's pretty much a Pinkie Pie clone but with a horn. This is really where you see that with the colors and everything, just it's a lot of pink. I decided to keep using my current style with the horns and ears for this as well, so even if the reference doesn't have the hooves and stuff, I'll still put those in because that's just how I draw horses, ponies, whatever. Now, I honestly, even looking back at when I started drawing Gold this way, I can't remember how I got to this point. Like, I can't even begin to fathom where this design came from, but it happened. He went from a Pinkie Pie clone to a yellow furred, purple maned Pegasus somehow. He was still a My Little Pony OC, and at this time I didn't do a lot of digital art. It was mostly traditional, but what little digital art I did do was MS Paint and base edits, which is what you're currently seeing next to him, that I'm using. This was kind of my, as I like to call my goth, emo, Gold phase. The heavy eyeliner, or eyelashes, I guess, and kind of a wild card personality. And this was kind of the start of when I started using creepypastas and murder type storylines to my art. I always kind of did that already, but I didn't do it with my literal personification of myself. I'm not entirely sure how it went from that, but I used him a lot for expressing like my anger and stuff at the time. So he kind of became a murderer. And this phase didn't really last too long. I changed his tail, I made him lighter in a way, and it's would be closer to how you would see him now, except unanthropomorphized and also female. So yeah, this phase didn't really last long, and it was very short, and this was before he also got the green eyes that he's known for. So now, this is the form that he has kept since my freshman year of high school. This was around the time when he was made into this form, where you'll see all of his signature attributes. This was also where he kind of became known for his whole murdery type things. My old friend and I created a creepypasta based completely off of cupcakes, My Little Pony fanfiction, and we basically did that, but with gold and their OC. I'm pretty sure it's still on Wattpad, and that terrifies me that old cretin is somewhere on the internet still. And this was really when I got into less base edits and started delving more into my own like drawings and stuff. I wouldn't heavily rely on bases. It was still done in MS Paint, unfortunately, and GIMP eventually, before I got Paint Tool Sci, which is what I'm currently only ever going to use, and I never want to use anything else because it is, in my opinion at least, the best program in the world. And you can fight me on that, I am not afraid of it. And this was also kind of when Bethany came into play. As you can see, there's a little full character over there that originally was supposed to be Gold's sister that I ended up changing into his daughter around my last year of high school. So that would have been right around the time he actually started to develop a story, became his own character, and became an anthropomorphized character. And this was also when the red eyes and vampire stuff started coming in. Now, I didn't have a proper ref for, or any image to base his male design, because he actually transitioned with me. He was one of the few characters that I transitioned, or had transitioned with. And I made him specifically for the Mind Electric video I was going to work on back then, which is still available on my channel, and I even redid it last year or the year before. But this was when he got his scraggly hair, his whatever you'd want to call his cut little look in the back, and he really started getting the fangs in, the whole vampire-esque look. And this was also when Wraith started to come in, and he would occasionally be drawn with those possessed eyes and the red eyes, and this was really when that started coming in. And this lasted about 2 years before I decided to make him into an anthro character. And I think it really benefited him for that, because as you can see, he's more defined. While he has the same colors as his previous counterpart, it's a very clean transition, despite the first one going into the second phase, which was a complete mess. And now you can see that I am starting to go into Gold's current form, and, well, the form he will have until I decide he needs a major character revamp, which I don't see happening in the future. And let me just say, drawing hooves, at least in an anthro sense, is extremely difficult to pose, but I make it do. And this was where he really got his story down, when Will came along, and when Moon Dominic came in, and everything involving his storyline, psychosis, and all of that. This was when it all came together, and I was really proud of that. and I still am, and I'm still going to be obviously working on that sort of stuff, but this was when it really kicked in. And I think having this final form, his actual reference and everything just kind of made that solidified. So, for those of you who don't know, Gold is a trans character, and I wanted him to be one. I wanted him to transition with me, and it all kind of just worked out that way. I'm not entirely sure how it came in. I do not remember if he became a trans character before I myself came out, and I was really happy with that. I didn't have a lot of characters back then that were the same gender as I was anymore, and it all kind of just worked out that way, where he just decided to come with me, and I ended up being able to work that into his story, which was very beneficial to me, and he's now the lovable little murderer you know and love today. I think I'll leave the speed paint here, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.